Hello, everyone. We'll be solving sample questions from the quantitative aptitude section for the exam here. So, let me start with the first sample question. All through these questions, my objective would be to train you on how to gain speed and in the process, we'll be seeing some methods which can help you become faster than before. So this first question, Rahul can do a work in 30 days and Kamlesh can do the same work in 20 days. They together work for 6 days and Rahul goes away. In how many days will Kamlesh finish the remaining work? All right. So if you look at this question, uh, you can solve it using that total work is equal to one method that you learned in school. But if you take total work as one, Rahul's 1 day work will be 1 by 30, right? So you will get fractions in solving. So it's better that you start by using the LCM method, wherein you take the total work as LCM of the given time. So simply take the total work as LCM of 30 and 60. So let's say the total work was the work was eating chocolates. So the total work was then LCM of 20 and 30, that becomes 60 chocolates. Now find out 1 unit work. So in 30 days, Rahul could eat 60 chocolates. So per day 60 by 30, that is 2 chocolates per day. All right. Similarly, Kamlesh 60 days, 60 chocolates in 20 days, so 60 by 20. Kamlesh eats 3 chocolate per day, right? So see, it becomes in terms of chocolate. So solving such questions becomes easier when you apply the LCM method, or let's call it the chocolate method. The first step being that you take the LCM of the days given and convert it into the total work. That is, will be in terms of number of chocolates to eat. This is total work. All right. Now, according to the question, they work together for 6 days. So together, right? So Rahul eats 2 chocolates per day. Kamlesh eats 3 per day. So together they eat how many? 5 chocolates per day, and they work for 6 days. So how many chocolates? The completed work, right? The completed work becomes 5 into 6. That is 30 chocolates. I hope this is clear, right? So fundamentally, now it's very logical that the remaining work, right? Because if you look at the question, how many days will Kamlesh will finish the remaining work? You have to find out. So you need to first find out the remaining work. That will be total work, that is 60, minus completed work, that is 30. So the remaining work is eating 30 chocolates. Right? So in how many days will Kamlesh finish it? Now see, so Kamlesh eats how many? Kamlesh eats 3 per day, and what is the total? It's 30. So the time that Kamlesh will require will be 10 days, right? 30 chocolates per day divided by the rate of eating chocolates for Kamlesh, that is 3. So the time that Kamlesh will be taking will be equal to 10 days, right? So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is B, 10 days. All right, so this is the LCM method. Now, suppose there are different types of questions on this, like suppose Rahul and Kamlesh work on alternate days, or Rahul and Kamlesh work for some days and then their efficiency goes down, right? So all these questions can be solved easily in an easier way if you take total work as LCM and then find out chocolate per day. Got the point? So this LCM method actually makes your solving process faster for these exams. All right. So that was the first question. The category of question was time and work, right? And I hope this LCM method is clear to all of you. Let's move to the next one now. So the next question is one in which you have to find the next term in the series. All right. So let's have a look at this question. 4, 11, 30, 85. Find the next term in the series, right? Okay. So let's see. Now, the first term is 4. Okay. The second one is 11. So in such questions, the first thing which comes to your mind is, let's have a look at the difference. The difference is 7, right? Then you have got 30. Okay, what is the difference? The difference is 19, right? So I'm not just looking at this particular question, I'm also kind of sharing the psychology of attempting series. Then the next term is 85. So what is the difference? 55. So the one thing is clear that this is an increasing series. Got it? And the numbers are increasing, so the last one has to increase. And if you look at this difference is a substantial difference, right? So you cannot actually consider these options. I mean, it's pretty clear that these numbers 89 and this 87, they should not be part of the answer, right? So A and D are pretty much not the answer because the increase is much more than that. Now, so just taking a guess at the magnitude of increase, right? Now, the next one is the other option is 248, 247. So this has to be something a significant increase over this. So now you start thinking that, okay, fine. So there is no direct series here, but we know that the answer should be somewhere in 240s. Got it? So what can it be like, right? So this, right now thinking a bit, it gives me a hint, right? 240, what is the number? One number which comes to my mind that in 240s I have learnt or I know, that is the 3 to the power 5, that is 243. 3 to the power 1 is 3, 3 square is 9, 3 cube is 27, 3 to the power 4 is 81, and 3 to the power 5 is 243. Okay, so if I take power of 3, 3 to the power 1 plus 1, this is 4, right? Okay, now I'm thinking. So 3 square is 9 plus 2 is 11, all right. 3 cube is 27, right? Plus 3 is 30. 3 to the power 4 is 81 plus 4 is 85. 3 to the power 5 is 243. So, uh, sorry, this was plus 4. Just a second. So, the this one is 3 to the power 4 plus 4. So, the power is getting added 3 to the power 4 plus 4, 3 to the power 3 plus 3. So, 3 to the power 5 plus 5, right? So, the value becomes 248. So first I tried thinking in terms of was there a direct pattern in the increase, but if I could not get an arithmetic or a geometric progression kind of a pattern, then I tried to think of do I know any of these numbers? Is there something that's relating with the kind of numbers which I have in mind, right? And then I look at the progression that it's an increasing series. So thinking of all these and trying to generate a pattern, we could finally reach out to the answer, right? So a bit of out of the box and pattern recognition thinking is something which you need to put in place if the question directly doesn't fall into some increase decrease AP or a GP type of series. All right. So I hope this one is also clear. Let's move to the next type of question. Now this one is based third one on averages. All right. So let us take this question. This is on averages. Okay. So, reading this question now, average age of a woman and her daughter is 21 years, and the ratio of their ages is 2 is to 1. What is the daughter's age? So, it's a simple question on the fundamental concept of average. So, the ratio of ages is 2 is to 1. So, let's say the women and the daughter, in such questions, just make it simple, write it as let's say 2x and x, and then it's given that the average age is 21. So average age of two people is 21, which means w plus d by 2 is 21. Got it? So w plus d by 2, which means 3x by 2, right, is 21. So you write it like this: 3x by 2 is equal to 21, and then you do the simple cutting. 3, this goes 7, right? And x becomes equal to 14. So in such a question, it's a very simple step, one step solution. Here you basically need to take the ratio and apply the average formula and solve it. All right, but the questions might get a step complicated than this. So let me take, so this was, I guess, simple. Let me take slightly a different example here uh, to illustrate the concept of ratios in averages and otherwise. So let's say there is a question which says that women and daughter, they get paid for work in the ratio 2 is to 1. All right. and the man and women, they get paid in the ratio 3 is to 1. Okay, so if all three work together to complete a work and the total payment, let's say, is rupees 3600, all right, okay, that is the total payment. So if the total payment is 3600, that is made to the man, the women, and let's say their daughter, right, for a work, then what would be the payment made to the daughter? So I've just converted this into another type of question that comes in the exams. This is now a wage problem. All right. So let's pay attention here. Now, wage is always proportional to the work done. You get paid according to the amount of the work that you complete. All right. So how do we combine ratios? All right. So they work for the same time that is given. So now in such a case, what we do is we take the ratio of man, women, and daughter together. And how do we do that? Let's see that. So who is the slowest here? The daughter is the slowest. Let me take daughter as 1. Alright, so I start with the slowest. That is the key. So women becomes how much? 2. Okay. Now when the women is 2, man is how much? So women is 1, man is 3. So let's multiply here. If when the women is 2, multiply 3 with 2. Got it? This is so when the women is 2, how many men required? 6. So the man does, or how much the work man can do? 6. So if you look at the ratio of the work that they can do, right? This was the ratio of work. So the ratio becomes 6 is to 2 is to 1. Got it? So take it as 6x, that is the work man will do, 2x is the work women will do, all right, and 1x is the work daughter will do. So what will be the payment that the daughter will get? 3600 into share of payment. How do you find share in a ratio? 1 divided by 1 plus 6 plus 2, right? 6 plus 2 plus 1, that is how much? That is 9, right? So the share of payment to the daughter will be 1 by 9. I hope this is clear. So this gets cut and the answer becomes 400 rupees. So the daughter gets 400 rupees as the share. So I'm repeating once again. Here what we said that the work ratio of women and daughter is 2 is to 1. Man and women is 3 is to 1. They work together for the same time to complete the work and together they get paid rupees 3600. What will be the share of payment made to the daughter? Right? So now what I did, I combined the ratios, men, women and daughter. So I started with the slowest one. The daughter does 1 unit of work, women does 2, and women does 2 in the same time man does 6. So the total is 9, out of which daughter is doing 1. So 1/9 is the share of payment that will be made to the daughter. Got it? So a question which combined the basic fundamentals of time in work, wages, and ratios. I hope this one is clear. So let's now move to our next question type, which is based on percentages and price consumption. All right. Very interesting question, and this can be solved very fast if you know the method that I'm going to talk about right now. Okay, so let's go through the question first. Price of sugar is increased by 20%. Find by how much percentage the consumption of sugar be decreased so as not to increase the expenditure. So price of sugar is increased by 20%. Consumption has to come down obviously because the expenditure is constant. So let's start with the basic formula. All right, expenditure is equal to price into consumption, and that is constant. So let's say it was P1 into C1. All right, it is constant, so it is the same expenditure. Now the price increases by 20%. Now just check this out. 20% is how much as a fraction? 1 by 5. And when you do an increase in fraction, you do it how? 1 plus 1 by 5, right? You take 5 as the LCM, so you get 6 by 5. So the price now becomes 6 by 5 times the original price. I hope we are clear here, right? But the consumption doesn't have to change. Sorry, the expenditure doesn't have to change. You know? So if I see this is suppose the final consumption and this doesn't have to change, so we can equate the two. I hope this is clear. Getting the point? Repeating once again, price is expenditure, expenditure is price into consumption, and that is constant. Now the new price is 6 by 5 P1. This is the new price. Got it? So what is the new consumption? So P1 gets cancelled, right? The new consumption C2 is from by equating these two equations, 5 by 6 times C1. C2 is 5 by 6 times C1, right? Now once we get to this, right, it's pretty simple now. Like 6 by 5 was what? 1 plus 1 by 5. 1 plus 1 by 5 was 6 by 5. In a similar fashion, write it as how many times will what will be reduced from 1. So 5 by 6 will be what? 1 minus 1 by 6. That is a reduction. 1 minus 1 by 6 times C1. So what is this is C2. So what is the decrease in consumption? 1/6 of C1, right? So this becomes 1 by 6 of C1 means as a percentage. How do you convert a fraction into percentage? You multiply it with 100. 100 by 6 percent, that is 16.66%. So the answer is option B. Got the point? So now once you have understood this, let me try to make this a simple memory process for you. So in such questions, expenditure is constant, so price and consumption will vary inversely. So just look at the numbers. So if directly you can see the price increases by 1/5, so it becomes 6 by 5. So the expenditure will, the consumption will become 5 by 6. You can directly write it now. Got it? So 5 by 6 means reduction of how much? 1 by 6. And that means how much as a percentage? That means 16.67% or 66 recurring percentage. So you can directly solve these questions if this fundamental is totally clear. All right, so this was one on percentages and expenditure. Let us now take the last question in today's lecture series, and this one comes from another topic, which is time, speed, and distance. All right, so let's go through this one. I'm reading out the question first. An Ola cab travels a distance of 90 kilometers at the speed of 15 kilometers per hour. It covers the next 100 kilometers of the journey at 25 kilometers per hour and the last 50 kilometers at 15 kilometers per hour. What is the average speed of the cab? Right. So this is based on the formula of average speed, and average speed is given by total distance by total time. Average speed is given by total speed is distance by time. So this is average, so total distance by total time. All right. So what will be the total distance? Let's write it down. The first part of the distance is 90. The second part of the distance is 100, and the third part of the distance is 50. Right. Now total time. You don't have time given here, right? So time is what? What is the formula for time? Time is distance by speed. So the first part, what is the distance? 90. And what is the speed? 15. Right? Okay. For the second part, the distance is 100. And what is the speed? It's pretty simple. It's formula based. Speed is 25, right? Okay. The third part, it is distance is 50, and the speed is 15. So all you needed to do was put these values, right, and then solve it. So let's proceed with this. This becomes how much? 6. This becomes how much? 4, right? And this is, if you cut it by 5, you get 10 by 3. So let me write another step here. The numerator is 240, and we divide it by 6 plus 4, 10 plus 10 by 3. So this is 40 by 3 basically. So I'm just writing it down for more clarity. 10 plus 10 by 3. So what we get is 240 divided by 40 by 3. So 3 goes up, right? So here you get 6, and 6 into 3 is equal to 18, right? So the final answer becomes 18 kilometer per hour. So in this question, it was a direct application of the concept of average speed. Similar questions which have simple fundamentals of distance, speed, time, where distance is constant or speed is constant or time is constant, such questions also get asked, right? Especially questions where distance is constant, speed becomes inversely proportional to time, right? So you should practice such questions as well. All right. So I hope this lecture will help you understand the fundamentals of the common type of basic questions that get asked. We covered many topics: time and work, basic number sequence. Then we went to averages, and finally to percentages and time, speed, and distance. So just cover this video and revise once. These questions will help you. Thank you.